Welcome to Invisible Strings, where we tug at the little threads that hold our lives together. From mental health and relationships to marriage, motherhood, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm Katie, your guide to navigating life's tangled web, one string at a time. Think of this as your weekly dose of insight, sprinkled with a bit of laughter, some heartfelt chats, and maybe even a happy tear or two. So, whether you're juggling a million things or you just need a break, let's untangle life together, because those invisible strings, they're what keep us connected. This is Invisible Strings. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome. Welcome to the very first episode of Invisible Strings. What? It's launched. It's here. Here we are. I'm Katie. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to be here. And honestly, I'm nervous. I have butterflies in my stomach. I can't believe that we are finally sitting here. This podcast has launched. It's so special to me. It's been on my heart for a long time, and I am excited to share why I'm here and what Invisible Strings is all about. And I just hope that this is a space that will encourage you and uplift you. And I hope that you find happiness here every Friday morning at 10 o'clock for 20 minutes. I think that we really are all connected by these invisible strings. And I think that they pull us together. I feel like these invisible strings are what pulls us towards each other. It pulls us towards healing, towards our faith, and towards our purpose in this life. And for me, one of those strings that I like to call it was my journey with mental health. And it was quite a long journey. I think it's always a journey. When I actually embraced it and embraced that struggle, it became really light. So I wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I have been married to Brad for the last 18 years. We met in college. We were actually really good friends for 3 years before we even started dating. We have 4 kids that are 8 years old to 16 years old. We have 2 hound shepherd mixes that we are obsessed with, Pippa and Luna. I had been a photographer for 14 years now. I took a little bit of a break while I went into a new career of travel nurse recruiting, which was amazing. I've done that for the last 4 years. And probably 9 months ago, I started getting this kind of stir in my soul where I just wanted to be available for my kids. And I didn't want to be working anymore. And I didn't want to be working for a corporation, a 9 to 5. So I left my job. I started the podcast, and I've picked photography back up a little bit. I've been able to really pay attention to my kids and be with them, and that's been amazing. We are also a foster family. We started doing that 4 years ago. We were licensed, and we had about 7 kids come through our house in a 2-year span. And after our last little girl left, we were pretty heartbroken. So we took a little bit of a break, but more recently got relicensed through an organization called Thompson here in the Charlotte area. Unfortunately, there are currently over 1,000 kids in the foster system and not a lot of licensed families. So we relicensed, and we will probably start getting calls soon for kids newborn to 5 years old. It's something that's important to my husband and myself. Our kids love it so much. The experiences have been really eye-opening for us and for our kids, and really beautiful and hard, but something that is easy for us to do. And we're really excited about starting that journey again. I grew up in the Chicagoland area, as did my husband. We moved down to Charlotte, North Carolina about 7 years ago already. We just, again, when we were living there, I had this like stirring in my heart that this is not where we're supposed to be. We are not supposed to raise our children here. We need to move. And Brad ended up getting a job down here, or his job transferred him down here. And it was the greatest adventure and the best decision we've ever made. It's been such a cool adventure for our family. We're super close to the ocean. We're really close to the mountains. We definitely feel blessed being here. Some of the things that I love to do, some of the things that make me happy are hanging out with my family, my friends. I love connecting with people and I love connecting people. I really enjoy traveling a lot. I love reading. I love bar, not the bar, like a bar class, like ballet. It's so fun and it's a great workout. So those are some of the things that I really love doing and ways I like to spend my time. And I'm also someone who has spent years walking the road of anxiety and healing it. My first panic attack was on Halloween 1996. And I remember it vividly because it changed my entire life forever. I think that if you've ever struggled with anxiety or fear, you would know how isolating it is and how debilitating it is. But something that I've learned is that we're never really alone. Like I truly felt so scared and so alone and I wasn't. There really is an entire community of people out there if you can just be brave enough to talk about it, is what I have found. And I feel like when we're falling apart, leaning into other people has lightened the load. Years ago, while I was struggling, like in the very beginning, I remember just praying to God, please take this away. Please take this away. If you take this away, I'll use my story to help everybody and anybody. And he did. He showed up, not the next day, not a year later, not 10 years later, but 25 years later, he showed up. And I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten that promise of helping everybody and anybody. And for me, I was going through a few different scenarios. Like, how could I reach more people? I could write a book. I could speak in front of women at women's conferences. I can do a podcast. So this felt like the quickest way to get the information out there. So that's really the main reason why I felt like this podcast was important. Okay, so what can you expect from Invisible Strings? Like, what are we doing here? I really feel strongly that this space is for real conversations about everything: friendship, marriage, mental health, faith, growth, all the things that we're dealing with: motherhood, teenagers, babies, newborns, postpartum. It's a place where I want to be able to speak about all those things. And while I love the idea of having therapists on here, and we certainly will, most of the people that are going to be on here talking will be just regular people that have dealt with a lot of these situations, or they've had struggles, or they've had victories. And those are the people that will be here. And of course, there'll be experts in different topics, but I really find like I am able to relate so well with people that are real, and I can find a purpose in every single person's story. So with that being said, some episodes will be just me, not many, because I don't really like speaking alone. Most episodes will be with a guest and one who I hope inspires us and challenges us. So let's start with today's topic, which is why sharing your story matters. I guess my question is, have you ever held back from telling your story because you thought maybe it wasn't big enough or scary enough, or you thought people wouldn't think it mattered? Were you afraid to tell it, like embarrassed about it? You want to keep a certain image going, perhaps. Well, I wanted to let you know that your story can inspire, it can heal, it can create connections that you cannot even imagine. I remember the first time I told my story, opened up about my struggles with anxiety and panic attacks. And I was terrified of being judged. I was already judged by everybody. So I thought to myself, how can that hurt? And as soon as I started talking about it, people started reaching out to me and they're like, me too. Like, that's when I realized we are all carrying these invisible strings, just tying us together through our shared experiences. Your struggles, your victories, they're absolutely not wasted. And you guys, they can be somebody's survival guide. So here's a quick story on this exact subject that happened a couple months ago and is really one of the reasons why I've kind of catapulted this podcast into existence so quickly. Really felt like after this happened, I just felt like I was called to start this. This is the time. Sometimes I'll post on the anniversary of when I first had my very first panic attack. And I'm sure you're like, why would you have an anniversary for that? But I do, because it was so life-changing for me. So this year I was thinking to myself, I'm going to post. I'm excited about it. It's going to be great. The day came, I sat down to do it, and I probably did 17 takes of it. And I'm like, I don't like this. I don't look good. I don't sound good. I'm not doing, people are going to think this is dumb. And you guys, I have been doing this for so long that it's like breathing, speaking about it. It's like second nature to me. And I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I walked away from it. And a couple minutes later, I just got this feeling inside that was like, this isn't about you. This isn't about you. Your story could help somebody else. You get back in there and you do it again and you post it. So I did. I went back in. I just did one more take and I posted it. Didn't even look at it. And I remember thinking, you know what, God, if this is just going to help one person, that's worth it. And the next day, I got a call from a friend who I hadn't spoken with in a really long time. And they told me that they had been struggling. And they had told me that they were scared and they saw the post and they needed to reach out. And in that moment, I just thought to myself, wow, like, thank you, God, for showing me that my story can help somebody and it can make someone not feel so alone. And how important it is to take our struggles and be authentic and real about them and talk about them so that we can help somebody else heal. Here's what I want to challenge you with today. I want you to think of an experience in your life that has changed you. It could be big or small, even if it feels insignificant to you. Like you don't think anyone will care or you don't think that anyone has experienced it before. It doesn't matter. Tell me how this experience or struggle has shaped you and who you are today. And could sharing it help someone else? So I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to send me a message if you're comfortable with that, or drop me a note, or you can just write it in a journal. But consider how your story can help other people. When you tell your story, you never know who might be listening. Honestly, it might be someone who you don't even know follows you, or someone who's silently struggling and needs to hear your story, needs to hear exactly what you've been through so that they know that they're not alone. Our words and our experiences, they create ripples, and they can reach further than you could ever imagine to people that you don't even know are following you. next week, we're diving deeper into mental health and motherhood. So if you haven't yet, make sure to go subscribe, like, share, so you don't miss out. Share this with a friend or a stranger. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. And if anything in today's episode spoke to you, let me know. You can find me on Instagram at Invisible Strings Podcast. And I cannot wait to see where this journey takes us. Until next time, let's remember you are seen and you are so, so loved. And we are all connected by invisible string. Bye. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Invisible Strings, where we've tugged at a few threads and hopefully left you with a smile and something to think about. Remember, life's connections might be invisible, but they're oh so strong. If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little string pulling in their life. Until next time, keep those invisible strings intact, and I'll see you back here soon for more heartfelt conversations and a dash of fun. Stay connected, stay kind, and keep untangling.